Hello, hope you're doing fantastic. So today's video is about tracking your food on MyFitnessPal, why it's important, how to do it, and just tips for success. So tracking your food on MyFitnessPal, or tracking food on anything, in my opinion, is deemed necessary. If you want to make substantial progress with your fitness goals, whether it's fat loss, weight loss, muscle gain, performance based, you need to know what's going into your goal. You need to know the fuel that's going into your body so you can adjust it accordingly. Without that, you're leaving it up to chance. You've got far greater room for error and much less chance of success. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, why should we track our food? Like I said, we want to remove the room for error. So, the more accurate you are, the more data you have to go by, the more success you're going to have, because you can tweak things, you can see trends, you can see where you're succeeding, where you're struggling, and you can put more focus into different areas. So you can see with your diet, whatever it may be, you may be short on carbs, you may be low on energy. That's going to have a big impact on that. So you can then see the kinds of foods you're eating and adjust it and increase the portion size of maybe the rice in your lunches or the gnocchi in your dinners. It also removes decision fatigue. So a lot of people struggle with their fitness goals because they're making up as they go along. Like, a lot of people don't know what they're going to have for dinner tonight, and that blows my mind. I know exactly what I'm having for dinner tonight and the next 10 nights. So removes the decision fatigue in the moment. You want to succeed in your fitness goals by reducing the amount of decisions you have to make. Reduce the amount of thinking and just focus on executing. Knowing what you're going to do ahead of time is a massive, massive time saver. It allows you to just get on with life and focus on more important things than wondering what's for dinner and lunch and breakfast. So it makes things simple. It makes things easy to follow. It's a lot clearer, more concise, and just leaves less room for error because you know what you're going to do and it's easier to follow. So saves time. Massive time saver is knowing what you're going to have ahead of time. Lots of time spent wondering what's for dinner, what you're going to cook, how you're going to cook it. Saves all that time, and it's just a case of, right, that's what I'm having, let's get it done. Saves money as well. A lot of the time, people are going to get to the evening and not have anything prepared for dinner, not know what they're going to have, and go for the takeaway. Go for the easy option, the get out of jail free card. Go for the easy, quick option, get a takeaway. Takeaway is expensive. Pizza is expensive. KFC, McDonald's, they're very expensive for what they are. You might save yourself 20 minutes of cooking, but you go to McDonald's and you spend 20, 30 quid on a meal that you could have made yourself for £3, £4. So it saves a lot of money. Accountability. So you're checking in with yourself. You are following a plan that you've set, or someone else has set for you, maybe a coach. But it keeps you consistent. It keeps you accountable. It keeps you locked in. It also increases your knowledge in terms of portion sizes, what's in the food, how big your portions are, allows you to make tweaks and just understand the food that's going into you a lot better. It allows you to understand the nutritional breakdown for certain ingredients, and it opens your eyes to how beneficial some ingredients are and how not so beneficial other ingredients are, namely processed foods, takeaways, candy, sweets, not American, and consistency. So basically encompasses all of that. It's like you're following a plan consistently. You're going to do the same thing multiple times. You build up routines, and it just makes life easier. So, how to do it? So, firstly, download MyFitnessPal. Once you get on board, you're going to want to set your goals. So you're going to go in, select settings, go into goals, and then you're going to fill out some information. So you're going to fill out your start weight, your current weight, your goal weight, where you want to get to, how fast you want to get there, so your level of push, and then your activity level. So what the app is going to do is going to suggest some macros and some calories for you. However, I suggest that you work them out yourself through a calculator such as this one. If you just screenshot the page right now, and then you can select that and search it on the internet. It's very good. Point to note is that the app has a premium and a standard version. The standard version is absolutely good enough. There are some added benefits to the paid version. I personally think they're very useful, such as custom daily goals. So here you can see I have my goals for my calories, for my proteins, carbs, and fats, and then down below we also have an option for setting different targets for different days. For example, if you're going to have high or low days, if you're going to have training days and non-training days, it's very, very beneficial. It just allows you to make slight tweaks and further dial in on your nutritional goals, pay more attention to it. So once you've set up that, then you're going to start logging your food. So going into the diary portion of the app, we're going to click add food under whichever meal it is. And then there's different ways to do that. So what you can do is you can search for the foods in a database. You can search whatever it is. So I've typed in banana, and it's going to come up. Once you've logged a couple of times, it's going to keep track of your history, and the ones you usually have are going to come up first. So it's going to show you a varied amount of things. It's going to show you the ones that you've had before. It's going to show you generic ones. It's going to show you branded ones. So be careful with which ones you choose. You want to look for the ones that have got the green tick because they are verified. They are more accurate, 100%. There are going to be ones there which will be incredibly not accurate. So you may see a banana for 88 calories, and then you might also see a banana for 800 calories. So just be aware and use a bit of common sense. If you see a banana for 8,000 calories on MyFitnessPal, it's probably not true. What you can also do for higher level of accuracy is use the barcode scanner. So when you go to log it, you before you type in the search bar, you'll be able to select a button which says barcode scanner, and then you can scan the barcode on the ingredient you have, and it will give you that exact nutritional information, which will be highly, highly accurate compared to just a generic one. And then once you've found the item you want to use, you're going to then adjust the portion sizes and the servings. So I recommend tracking in grams is the highest accuracy out of everything, and cups and different measurements can be very, very different depending on the ingredient you're using. So where possible, weigh and track in grams. Try not to, I would categorically say do not track via amount, because you can track one medium apple and that is open to interpretation to what that is. So a medium apple could be 50 grams, it could be 75 grams, and they're going to have massive differences. So where possible, just completely ignore that type of measuring. So tips, amongst the ones I've already mentioned, saving and copying meals for a later date is highly, highly recommended. So you can create a meal. So you can create meals, you can create recipes and foods. So what I do, pretty much every Sunday I go for a roast at my partner's great aunt's, and she makes the same roast every time. Absolutely delicious. This one's for you, Susie. And we have the same thing on it every time. Susie. So what I did is I tracked each thing, have the same portion every time. So every time I go, it's the same. And what I do is I just log that each time, instead of going in there and typing out roast potatoes, beef, broccoli, etc. It's all in there, same every time. Takes 2 seconds. Don't need to worry about it. Super, super easy. Saves a lot of time. And you can do that for anything. You can do that for the meals you have at home. And then once you've selected that meal, you can go in there and tweak it if the portions are different for that time. Saves a lot of time. Saves a lot of effort. Highly, highly recommended. So, tips for increasing your accuracy. Accuracy, as I always say, is something we want to go for. It removes room for failure. So planning ahead does that. Don't just log everything in the moment when you have it. That takes a lot of time, takes a lot of stress, and you end up forgetting. You get busy, you don't log something, and then you're going to go to the end of the day and be like, oh, how much did that weigh? I don't know. And you're also going to forget a bunch of things. Like if you have a little... You're also going to forget things. If you have a little snack here or there, bite of this, bite of that, packet of crisps, you might forget it by the end of the day, but you've eaten it and it's not going to get accounted for. So you're going to get to the end of the week and think that you've been on the ball. You're going to look at the scale and wonder why you haven't lost weight. It's because you haven't tracked everything. So plan ahead. What I do is the night before, after dinner or whatever it is, when it's that usual scroll on your phone time, just chilling out in the evening, I'll spend 5 minutes, I'll map out what I'm going to have for dinner the next day. Then when the next day comes, all I have to do is eat it. All I have to do is eat what I said I was going to eat. Super, super easy. You can do this at breakfast time, at dinner, whatever it is, just make sure you do it before the day. I spoke about in the previous slides is keep it as accurate as possible with the selection of what you're logging. Don't just go for the random things. Try and make sure you're using verified items in the database, or where possible, use the barcode scanner for 100% accuracy. Occasionally, not 100%. So it's going to be very accurate, but occasionally the barcodes might be wrong and you might scan Greek yogurt and it's going to come up with paella. So just be careful, just make sure you're paying attention. And lastly is you want to track everything. So everything mounts up, everything plays a part in how many calories you have, especially oils and cooking fats and condiments. So if you're putting a lot of dressings on your meals, you're going to be adding hundreds of calories. If you're cooking in oil is incredibly calorific. It's very good for you, good olive oil, for example, but there's a lot to it and you want to keep track of it. So make sure you keep a track of those things. Now, when it comes to eating out, that's where people kind of just bin off the whole process entirely and just wing it. And that's where you fail on the weekends. So we need to ideally track those as well. So if it's a chain, their data might be on the app and you can just log straight away. Nando's, for example, I eat the same thing every time I go there. I know what I'm having. I know it's on MyFitnessPal, so I log it ahead of time and then I adjust the rest of the day accordingly. If it's not, then what you can do is you could Google them, search up their nutritional information, and then what you can do is you can quick add an item on the where it says the recipes and the meals, etc. You can quick add and you can just type in the name of it, the calories, the macro breakdowns, and then log it. Easy peasy. You don't need to fill out the exact ingredients. You just fill in those data. You just fill in the bits. Another option would be to log generic items. So this is not going to have much accuracy because each place is going to serve something a different size. But you could, like I say, search for grilled chicken salad, medium, large, whatever it is, and there's going to be a bunch of options up there. Some are going to be incredibly high calorie, some are going to be low calorie. Go somewhere in the middle. Then the next option would be to log the individual ingredients, guesstimating. Of course, you're not going to take your set of scales into a restaurant and put all the things on the scale and then eat them. It's not that deep. So if you're having a chicken salad, you could search up chicken breast, guesstimate the amount, iceberg lettuce or salad leaves, whatever it is, house dressing, honey mustard dressing, you know what it is. Guess the amounts. It's going to be a little squirt, maybe 10, 15 mils, and croutons, 20 grams, 30 grams. Guess it. Err on the side of caution, go a little bit over. Track your alcohol, track your drinks, 100%. Everything mounts up. So alcohol, incredibly calorific. Make sure you're tracking that as well. When it comes to cocktails, even more so, lots of calories in the sugary mixers. So massively make sure that you take account of those. So to conclude, when it comes to your fitness goal, you need to be accurate. The more accurate you can be, the more chance of success. So weigh things accurately. Weigh them for starters. Don't just guess. Weigh them in grams. Don't weigh them in cups and ounces, etc. because there's far more room for error. Make your life easier and plan it ahead. Do not make your life hard. Do not log things every time you eat something. It will get tiresome and you will just stop doing it eventually. It's too much effort. Just plan out what you're going to have the day before. Put it all in there. And then the next day comes, all you got to do is eat what you say you're going to eat. If something changes, you tweak that one meal. You tweak that one ingredient. But you don't have to log the entire day. It makes it a lot easier. Most adults are going to eat about 10 different foods on rotation for the rest of their adult lives and maybe change something in there occasionally. But if you're going to eat the same things more than once a week, save it in there as a food, as a recipe, and then you can log it easy instead of putting every single ingredient in there. The main thing is to enjoy it. Tracking your food opens you up to the freedom of making sure that you can fit all these nice things in and hit your goals at the same time. So if you want to go out for a burger, plan it ahead, put it in there, adjust your calories, adjust your food for the day leading up to it so that you can go and enjoy it knowing that you're still hitting your goals. You don't want to go into social occasions feeling guilty and worried that you're just bidding off your progress. If you don't track it, if you don't account for it, you very well might be. But if you plan ahead, you make sure that it works into your program, into your meal plan, then you're going to be a much happier person and much more successful. And the biggest thing is be consistent. Don't just log your breakfast and then bin it off for the rest of the day once a week, twice a week. Log it all. Get used to it. Get consistent. Your skills will increase. It will get quicker. It will get easier. You'll get more successful with it. Consistency is the key for success. So keep at it. Hopefully, you've learned something. Hopefully, you are now more skilled in terms of tracking your food and you're going to be more successful when it comes to hitting your fitness goals. Any questions on any of it, please send me a message on Instagram, email me, Facebook me. You can come up to me in the gym, whatever it is. Happy to help. Always happy to help. So, catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.